Okay, welcome guys. Actually, this is going to be, if you're coming in here to watch a gameplay, I'll just say right at the very start, this is only going to be map making. It's going to be illustration, experimenting, because there's a lot of things I just don't know about the new ways of doing the maps. So that's all I'm going to do. I was going to just do it privately, but I thought, oh look, I'll do it as a live stream. There may be people who might know things that I don't know, who could actually then help me. And B, there may be other people who are trying to do the same sort of thing, and we can help each other, hopefully. We can experiment with different things. So a few things I want to do. I want to fix up an existing map that I've got and then make it so that it's ready for basically for use in the with the way that Dominion 6 actually does the maps. So there's a lot of stuff we have to do there. It won't take long to do it, but it'll still be. I'm going to have to experiment with a few different things to make that one work. And then I want to do a cavern layer and experiment with that as well. So hopefully we get these done in just the next 2 or 3 hours, see how we go. So I'm going to be using a tablet. I'll just go through my list of tools. So I've got a drawing tablet. I'll just move that across here as well. That's the main thing I'm going to be using for the illustration. I will be going through, I'll go through tips as to how, probably when I do the cavern layer, that will be its own self-contained little thing, but I'll be doing a few experiments with that one to try to just get some results and sort of see how things actually do work. I'm going to be building this inside. I'll think about where I do this actually. I do need to build it inside the game, so I'll be opening the game up a little bit, and also have open here the map making PDF file. So I've sort of got the PDF file there for map making, so I'll be using this as well. But this one unfortunately doesn't really tell us much about what we have to do for the underground. So that's sort of where we'll end up being. So as I say, probably going to be a boring video unless you're into making the maps. And I know there's not very many of you that are in that category. I almost wasn't going to do it because I know it sort of kills off the algorithm for my channel whenever I do this sort of stuff. And I was really in two minds as to whether to do it. But then I thought, no, I'll just do it and hang out. And if you've got any questions, just sing out. But that will be the focus on what we're actually sort of trying to do through here. That's I'll just get up to where it's got the actual different types, the types that we have to then go and build. So I'm going to have to restruct, here they all are. So mymap.tga, mymap_winter.tga, forest, waste, farm, swamp, highland, plain, kelp, and water. Now plain should be exactly the same as just the my map. The reason it's not actually, I think the reason it's not, is that you can actually have, from what I understand, a map with certain provinces that are actually, have been defined, but I think if more than 20% of the provinces are, are different to just plains or underwater, it will then, like if it's more than 20%, it won't then it won't generate randomly. But if it's, sorry, I forget which way it works. Anyway, if it's predominantly going to be plains, it will terraform the plains in your map and also the underwater in your map. So that's my understanding of how it works. And again, we could experiment with that as well and just to see how that one actually does work once we've got it sort of set up. But initially, we're just going to do some graphics around these different things. I've also got a text file opened where I can just sort of write little notes. I might just put in the actual different types that we can put in through here as well, because we're going to have to. So this will be just a standard. So I need to make some certain graphics in here. I don't know about the cavern layers. I'm going to have to experiment with that one there. I am live, I think. I just double check. I did have a look before. Oh, yeah. No, that's okay. All right. So, yep, that's all right. I don't know what the errors are. I'm just going to keep on going. We'll see how we go. So I'm just basically going to copy these because this is essentially what we need to do. Control C. So a few of these I have to draw. A few of them I'm going to be taking some massive shortcuts with, and so let's just sort of see how we go. I'll just go Control V in through there. I'll just move these across just so that they've got the so we've got the different types. Now we don't just have to make these; we also then have to make a few others. So I'll probably just get the whole lot done. So we've got now if we've got winter there, I'm just going to do a return there because these are the special ones. Hi there, Spicy Jim, how you going? Yeah, we're here, cool. So as I say, this is just going to be hanging out. Now, what I need to do is also get another group. I'll just go Control C. So we have to make maps for all of these things. We don't have to make them for all of them. What it will then do, if it can't find one of these maps, it will then go and do something different. And so it will then look for it will then just use the standard map, even though it will actually designate it. So, for example, if you don't have a forest map, a forest target map, it will then just use whatever the base map is, but still classify them as forest. So, if it does sort of do it through the Dominion 6 style, that's what will end up happening. So, and it will only do that if there's, as I say, more plains provinces, and we can test that as well. We can do that We can do that right away with what I actually have almost. Yeah, we could actually. We could. I think I'll. Anyway, let's just go and bring this one in. So we've got the my map forest, yeah, waste, blah 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 blah, all that sort of stuff in through there. This is going to be now. How do we do the winter versions? So add a W. So it's going to have the W at the back end of it. That's all we have to do there. So it's going to be W. Oh, hang on, down in here, W. So I'm going to have to make. I've got a lot of work to do with this. There we go. All right, so that's all good. I'm just making little notes for myself as to what I need to do. So that's the style, and just remove some of these back as well again. I might as well take notes while I'm here. There's a typo there which I reported. Control C. Now I've got a lot of stuff actually set up for doing the illustration. So I started doing a bit of that yesterday. I'll still have to make a few others for when we do the cavern layer, but I think I'll start with these to start with. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak this in a little bit, and we're going to just set up an experimental area. Hi, Lucid, how are you going? Actually, you probably know most of the questions I've got with this. I'm really lost with what to do. I don't know. I think that some terraform and some don't. I think the only one that doesn't terraform is terraform into each other is Highlands. And I think that's it. But I think that one just is randomly designated. I believe. But I'm not 100% sure. Also, I don't know how you classify Cave Forest, Crystal Cave, or Drip Cave. So I'm going to have to figure that one out as well, I think. But it's going to be a bit of a pain in the bum. Also, I will apologise for the scale of my screen. I've actually got it now recording on my normal work mode, which is higher resolution, which makes it a little bit harder to see. Anyway, let's go into where I've got everything set up. I'll just open up the areas. So I've just got one area that I sort of store for doing this sort of stuff. So all of my modding stuff is, I think it's in here. Game stuff, Dominion 6. There we go. Maps. So I've got sort of like this is the one getting ready for uploading. So I've got Arena Basic. This will now be like the Arena DOM 6 or something like that. So I'm just going to go and copy this and just go Control V, and I'll just call it Arena DOM 6 for now. Now we will need to tweak that as well. There's things inside here which is getting ready to upload. So I'll just come in and edit these as well as we do it, I think. So we'll sort of end up, yeah, I'll come back for that one. So we'll just leave that one where that is as well. And the other thing we need to do is just go back in now to the file, and we'll just go and set everything up. So we're going to be working a lot just for the experimenting. In fact, we can do the experimenting straight away. So let's just get that set up, and then we'll actually come back and tweak it. So if we just go to Tools, open the user data directory back in through here, there it is. So that's just going to go into there where we've got maps, and I'm just going to make a copy of what we're just setting up and then just go and fix it. So we'll exit out of this one. Just saying sorry, stepped away for a second. Actually, I did mean to say, in the beta, you put up that video. It looked like it wasn't a map nuke video at the back end of it. It looks like it was just a standard map. But I haven't seen the map nuke one, so I haven't actually tried that one. But I did actually have the same thing happen to me when I was trying to do the arena map. Like, there's a lot of trial and error to make it work. Okay, so this is saying that cave provinces are just a mix of cave plus something else. But to get crystal and drip, so drip is swamp, I'm guessing. Forest, cave forest is okay. I'm guessing the other one, crystal, would that be Highland? I guess we can find that out. I can experiment with that one. That would be interesting, actually. So, and do you have to know if they're random? I wrote a whole lot of questions actually on the beta forum, like heaps and heaps of them. Anyway, let's just go back into the. I'll just leave that there for now and just quit out of this one again. So we've now got this area. I'm just going to go back into this one, and I'll do the basic editing in here, and I'll call it Arena DOM 6. Yeah, I'll call it Arena DOM 6 as the actual one that we save. So we'll just go back in. And we just need to change a few of these. So the .map file needs to be Arena DOM 6. I'll just go and grab those. So this will be all the map files that we end up having. Control C. And do that one there. There's the target file. So I'm going to be changing these. Not quite sure which combo is which. Yeah, okay, well maybe we'll experiment with that. We can do that, I think. Actually, can we edit? I'm not sure if we can edit the cavern layer. I haven't tried the cavern layer at all yet. But we'll end up, hopefully, getting that one sort of sorted. So I've got the Arena DOM 6 Winter, Arena DOM 6 Targa, Arena DOM 6 Map. We actually need to go into here as well, and I'll just edit that in Sublime Text as well. So I'll just make this a little bit larger. And so this is going to be just called Arena, so I'm just going to ditch that one. The description gets stripped out anyway, so that one's going to, I'll leave it in this one, but when I bring it across, that's going to then change. This is going to be Arena DOM 6. So these essentially are going to be what we're going to end up with. DOM version 600, no map hide, no deep caves. Now, let's get rid of that because we're going to put a cavern layer in this one. So we'll designate our cavern layer. Everything else we don't have to change. So we'll just go but we can actually just test this a little bit. So just go and save that one. All right. So this will be our base. This is actually away from the game area. We'll just go and keep that one where that is. All right. So let's go and grab Arena DOM 6. So, oh, hang on. I do need to go back in here. I just want to make sure that we get rid of the. Oh, yeah, that's okay. That's the .text. No, that's okay. This one hasn't been designated for the workshop, not yet anyway. Control C, Control V, and so this is now inside my Dominion 6 maps area. And when we change things, it's just going to be basically overriding it. So I'll probably just go in and just take a copy of my .map area, just so I can always bring it back to this one. And Control V, this will be 01. And I'll just call this one back. The backups. Okay, so that's going to that way we'll, as we get different versions, I can then just keep on saving them as other like numbered backups. So that's the original, and then we'll just go from there. Actually, I might call it revision number, so I'll make this one 00. Not that it matters that much, but anyway, it's I think I'll know then that that's the original, and then it's then as we do each one, we'll just number them up as we sort of find the changes actually happening. So let's just go and edit this one and just make sure that this is actually now working in the game. So Dominion 6. And we'll just do some experimenting and just see what we can end up with in through here. So if we go with actually I don't even know how to do the we'll create like a pretend underground underground as well. So if we go to go to Tools and Manuals, Map Editor, and then Load Map, go to DOM 6, and then DOM 6 map that we just created. Now hopefully this will then open up. Yep, it did. So if we go and change all of these, so these have all got things like, for example, if I just go Control A, I've got like Highlands and Gorges. If we remove all of those, that one's farm, just get rid of everything that's extra, and just see what it does. This one here is just start, that's okay. So these are just planes. We've got these ones actually allocated. This one is just C. I'm not sure if the I'm not sure what the deep sea does as well. Like we'd start with C, nothing else in through there. We do actually have a gorge in here, an underwater gorge. I'm not sure what deep sea does as well, but we've got a large province that shouldn't change anything. It's just a forest. I'm wanting to just get rid of all of these things. And deep sea, I'm not sure what that one does, but it's up in this top thing, which is not a, like, I think that these get impacted by the way that the game sort of is setting things up. Let's go into here, and we've got this one here is nothing. It's just underwater. I'll keep the deep seas. I've got a feeling that it may stop the other ones, but if we need to have nearly all of them without any of this stuff clicked, is my understanding. So we'll just go and start there. So this will be the setup to see what actually is happening. So I've sort of got like a one of everything when I had set up this one originally. This one here is just, yep, so there's nothing else down the bottom there. So that cleans up all of the actual, all of the areas. It's very, very few, luckily, so I don't have to worry too much about it. Hi Eddie, how you going? So thanks for doing this, Daz. My multiplayer group has had some issues with transferring loading generic maps, random maps. Or that the MP map selection is not as detailed as the single map options. Yeah, well, at least it's had the same. He's had problems as well trying to get things to actually work. I haven't tried this one in multiplayer. It's not really geared for multiplayer. This is more just for testing. But it's a really good map to experiment on, just to see if it's going to actually then work. So anyway, we've got so everything has now been, all of this has been stripped out of this one. Now, if my understanding is correct, and if I think it will now generate random stuff in amongst this, even though the graphic won't change. So if we just go and actually, I did put a random underground. I think it will generate that. I think I turned that off actually. Anyway, that's okay. One thing I can do is just go to the advanced commands, and deep cave planes is enabled. I think I'll just disable that for now. Fog of war enabled. Vertical wraparound. Remove neighbors. Randomized names. It's pretty cool actually. Add a plane, yeah. So we can actually add the plane in. I mean, this one just tells you what, so you can see it, but that's all good. Okay, let's just save the map. So this is now, the map is now saved as Arena Dom 6. And so if I quit out of this one, and all you have to do is just go in and just try to create a new world with that particular map. This one's called Arena because we got rid of the Dom 6, and I'm just going to go and just click on OK. Now I've got to be very careful. I wish there was I don't know if there's a max players thing with this, but it really should be, like, really ideally it's only max players 2 in this particular one, but you can play up to max players 4. So Super Mew Kitty Cat saying leaving a like and going to sleep tomorrow. One of the feral. I've always got this stupid little heart that always covers up, and I don't know how to get rid of it. It's like the emoji heart, but it's always in the bottom corner. I don't know how to get rid of that. I'll just see if I can find it. Moderation. No, not there. Yeah, so there we go. Now it's moved. So I've got the feral male cats I have rescued goes to be neutered. Oh, okay. It's fun for it. Well, this is. I'm going to say this is going to be probably a really, really boring episode. I almost didn't do it because I know this is not going to get views, so it's going to hurt my algorithm. Just call this one. We just keep on calling these ones test. Doesn't matter what we do. Backspace. Just get down to 2 players, and I will just go. It doesn't matter whether I do. The one thing I probably don't really want is an underground. Although maybe, yeah, let's actually try it. Let's make them both human, and oops, I should have gone the other way. And let's make one of them Agartha, and the other one just one of the standard, above ground ones. Pangea is an interesting one because that should then change the. See, Agartha should change where it is to a cave format, but will it? I don't think it will. And Pangea should change the its starting place to a forest, and so we'll see what actually happens here. So we'll click on OK. That's all good. I'll just press R and just get a random god. Doesn't really matter what we have. and okay, R, okay, and okay. All right. So, and nothing, we don't need to worry about any of this stuff. Let's just click on OK and just see what if it opens up. Now, you can get a lot of errors when this is actually happening. So let's have a look at Pangea. Exit. Okay, this is cool. Now, when we click on it, it is forest. Great. So it has known to do that. And so it knows to make this into a forest because it's Pangea. It's gone into here as well and made this one into forest. It's made that into highlands. So that's sort of like the gorge type stuff. And this is plains. Okay, excellent. So the graphics are way out. That's why we have to do the graphics. This one here is plains. That's good. Agatha is also plains. Damn it. Plains. Oh, we don't get to see the others. We can do that when coming back in. We don't get to see these so much as well. Kelp forest. We don't know the others back out through there. So that's interesting. That's really, really cool. That's actually done it that way. Let's go and end our turn in here and just go across to Agatha and see what's around them. So that is working perfectly in terms of what it's doing. This is a forest area. That's a forest area. That's all forest. That's weird that Agatha's got so much forest. I don't know if that's been fully tweaked yet. Anyway, this is really only like a little testing area. So then we just got the sea again, of course, the kelp forest, and then the plains in through there, and then we can see the forest over through here for Pangea. So this is actually working very, very well already. So this is great. So so that's actually that's really, really heartening. Now, what we need to do is I now need to go in and create the different layers so that we at least get the look. And I do this one. This is quite easy for me to do. So I'll just set it up, and then we'll do the winter versions afterwards. But I'm going to have to change. I'll have to relook at the way I've set up my my files for my file for the graphics. I was looking at it the other day, just getting some of the scripting ready so we can sort of do this one relatively easily. All right, so that's fine. We'll just go and quit without saving. Quit. So that actually is working perfectly. Which is great. Let's open up the graphics program. So I'm using Clip Studio, which is heaps better than Photoshop. Heaps better. It's not even a close call. It is miles better and miles cheaper. I use Photoshop for photo manipulation. So what I've been doing yesterday was just getting like my I screwed this up pretty badly, but I set up like the farmland graphics, the mushroom graphics for the swamps, the wasteland graphics. So these are all the different things we need to actually have. I set up before grasslands for the plains, and the trees I'd already set up as well. And so I'm just going to go back in, open recent, and it should just be. Oh, hang on, there's a different one. Arena Map DOM 6. So this is I must have already saved it. Yeah, there's the old arena map. I'll just have a quick look in this one and just check. Yes, that's the original graphics. And then I did set up, if I just go to File Recent, I don't remember, to be honest, saving that one, but I must have done this one yesterday so I could work on something that was new. Okay, yeah, I did actually. There's one little change I've already made, and that's if we have a look at the... where is it? If we just go back across to the, if I open up the other one again, so I'll just go File, Open Recent, and just bring in the arena map. See how the trees break through the border and through here as well? You can't have that in the way that the new Dominions works. So that's not going to be doable. So hi Muzzle Paint, how you going? And Sithel. So that's actually something that, like, there's a lot of restriction when you do it, so I've got to make sure that they're all inside the border, which is why this one I've just moved everything inside the border. And I was just going to test it, but we want to get rid of these things. So we need to restructure. The most important thing that we'll be restructuring in here will actually be our layers, and so the layers now have to be done very, very differently. And so if I go and have a bit of a look, what I've got structured already, it's a bit hard to sort of see what's going on. But the way I make these maps is that I've got the first one is the little dots, which are important because it's very hard to see this, but there is actually an exact little white dot. That indicates that that's actually where the where the actual graphic will end up being. And so that's actually quite important. So every single province, and you can only have, that's the only white you can have on the map. You're not allowed to have anything else. So Muzzle Paint saying, Dad, really appreciate all the hard work and videos you've turned out the last few days on Dom 6. I love the game. I love the game so much, so much. So it's it's not a chore at all. It's actually good fun for me. So, and what we've also then got is I've got this is a layer here, which is just, and again, this has got, there's no anti-aliasing with this. This is the easiest way to make the borders in the maps. And so that's already been designated. Now, the one I was a bit worried about was over here. That's not too bad, but I can always just reference this and make sure that that always still stays where it is. Whatever this border is going to be what's going to be then showing. So I need to this is a really important layer, that one, for designating the way that everything is going to then be drawn. So yeah, doing this one is critical. I'm just going to turn that one off. So that's actually something that will come. We'll have to go back and do that one again and look at that one again when I'm doing other things. Now that's no good for me, so I need to change that, and we need to get rid of a lot of the stuff that's actually in this layer. So if we go back through all of them, that's all the extras, and when we look at it, it's the it's the kelp forest, which I'm going to change anyway. There's a little bit around the arena, so I'm going to get rid of things like the kelp forest anyway, because I don't want that. I quite like the feel of all of this stuff, to be honest, for the plains. So these for me actually look fine for the actual planes themselves, just those graphics. So I'll just go through the different layers that I've got in here. Then I've got one of the great things about this particular program is that it's got vector layers as well as bitmap layers. And so I do as much as I can in the vector layer so I can sort of scale it. So this is a vector layer. So everything drawn on here is in vector. Or is it actually maybe, yeah, actually maybe it's not. No, it's not. It's been converted across, I think. I can't remember now. Then we've got, so this one, that's, yeah, actually, no, that's I think is, oh no, it's actually still is vector layer. No, it is, that's right. What I've done, sorry, I keep on getting confused. Everything you see on these, when I turn that on or off, it's all vector the way it's been positioned, but they're actually been positioned with a, like if I grab the line of trees, for example, here, that's the line of trees. It's actually a brush that I made for doing these maps. And so that's actually what we're seeing through there. And if I grab a point here and drag it right up, I can move the tree line around wherever I want it. It'll just make the trees pop in wherever they have to be. And so that's all I need to do for the forests, for example. I can make the forest really fast because I don't have to do them manually. These ones here is just a single point that I dropped in to make a tree, and same with all of these. These are all just single points. The houses are just single points, just randomly generated houses that have come from the way that I've set up my brushes. So I'll go through that because that makes life really, really easy when we do this sort of stuff. So that's that layer there, which I will have to get everything out of this and now make it its own version. I will keep the base layer as the plains layer. So I will actually just designate everything as plains, and then we'll come back into it. The next layer is the outline. So this is actually the main map outline. Again, this is a vector layer as well. And so all of these lines around here, if I just go again and just grab that layer there and click on these are all vectors. So I can manipulate these really, really easily as well. So that makes a massive difference to be able to do it. And then I've got my text layer in through here as well. So I've just got like the text with the word arena back up the top there. This program, by the way, is terrible when it comes to doing text. So but in this case, that was fine. So that's just a text layer at the top. So that's my foregrounds. Now we're going to have to change this so that we end up with essentially summer will end up just being the plains layer, and winter will just be the winter layer. But I'm going to split them up then into other versions. I'm going to need to have. I'm going to probably actually do it differently again. You know, I think I'll actually do summer. Yeah, no, I'll do it. I'll do the plains. I'll set the plains up first, and then we'll figure out the best way forward with different things. So a lot of these things are going to have to chop and change that we've actually got in these different areas. Let's just go and leave them there for now, and just get set up. Now for the summer layer, this becomes a bit more complex. So this one's not too bad. What about winter? Winter is usually a bit more involved. I've got another one that I had done where I'd actually done a better job of the winter than this particular map. And so I'm going to bring that one in as like the settings from that one and just sort of manipulate it. So let's just get started, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, I'm just going to call this one summer base. It's really hard for you guys to see what I'm doing in here, but anyway, and this is going to be the winter base. And I'm then going to do different layers above these. So for I'm thinking of actually moving them across. Oh, by the way, this is if I just turn off both of these layers, and then I can turn on other layers that I've got. Like this here is my flats layer, where I sort of had designated different flats. This one just helps me with the illustration. I don't use it for anything other than reference. This one here is actually a very important layer. This one is how I just paint into the areas to then create the shapes that we needed to then create the actual zone. So I'll be doing this one for the underground layer as well. And then we've got another one here, which is just my sketch. So that was the pre-sketch before I started drawing it. So again, we'll do that as well in the other layers. But I just leave those sort of reference things back in through here for when I'm sort of doing the illustration. I might even just put all of those back into their own layer as well. So if I just go across and new layer folder, this one will just be, I normally just call these ones base actually, so I'll just call it base. And throw them into there. All right, so that one will be there, and we can just turn that one off because we're just not going to be using it. So the next thing we have to do is we now have to start to essentially work with the areas that we actually have. Now I don't need to have all of the other graphics, so I'm going to just to keep the file sizes down. I'm going to go back to the flat color for when I do for the bits and pieces. So I'm just going to go back into my my foreground and actually not my foreground, my summer base, and all I've really got through here is if I just turn that one back on again, I've got a layer there which is just for lightening things up a little bit. So I've got a screen layer where I've actually coloured everything just slightly sort of green colour. Like if I change this one just to from screen to normal, and then change it from up to full, it's actually more of a yellowy colour. That was just to manipulate what we were seeing back in there, and so that's all that layer actually does. So I'll just go Control Z, and just put it back to screen. It was just without that layer, it just is a bit too dark and dull. But with the layer, it actually seemed to, for me, it worked better when I was in game. So that was actually just a layer I used to tweak things. And that's fine. I can just keep that one there because this is only going to be affecting the bottom layer. And then the bottom layer here is the colors that I actually then had selected. So if I just turn that layer off, this is something that I'm going to have to change because I'm going to need to redo all of this. And so, it says pretty, yeah, sorry, I haven't changed the thumbnail. To change the thumbnail, I'll have to do it after I finish. So no, it's not a preview. It's, I won't bother changing it up. So Carter's saying, I wanted to say thanks. After watching one of your vids, I decided to give the Dominions a go. 15 hours in already. That's cool. That's really cool. Actually, it's funny. There's someone asked a really good question when I was live streaming on Twitch this morning, which was basically, about starting the game. And I think the best way, when I thought about it, I thought actually the best way to do it is to start multiple times. So now that you can save your pretender when you design it, save it, whatever you decide to go with, just pick on one faction just to get used to it when you're trying to learn the game, and then play a year or two into the game, see what you think you could have done better, and then go back and rejig your pretender. And that way you can sort of then try to think, okay, if I had done this instead of that, maybe this would work better. Like, for example, if you're finding that you're running out of gold or running out of resources, for example, that's a common one. If you find that the resources just aren't enough in what you're doing, then come back and change your production up a little bit, something like that, and just see what that actually does for the build. It's actually a really, really good way to play it. So Anonymous Stranger saying, I'm playing the early aged fire giants now. Wow, actually they're really hard. That's the one where you've got the actual, your home location is super hot and everything else is freezing cold, I think, isn't it? Muspatel or something, I forget what it's called. Anyway, it's cool that you guys are getting into the game. That's really the goal, is to get more people playing the game, because it's an awesome game. Anyway, that's so with this area through here, I'm going to, if I ditch that entirely. There's too much going on there. So I'm just going to go back, and this is where I've got the flats. I've got the flat colors at the very, very bottom here. So I'm just going to go across. I don't think how I do this. So anonymous stranger, so you've been playing since Dom 3, so not too bad, but yeah, Muskell something, yes, Muspelheim, there we go. Yeah, that's really crazy. It's so interesting to see all these new ones that are coming back in. Now we've got the flats. I'm just going to go and open the flats up again, and actually, in fact, I've got flats as my reference layer. What this then allows me to do, if I just go back and have a look at that and just turn off hang on, where is it? Turn that layer off there. I need to just turn base back on again. So these were the flat tones that I used underneath everything, and I'm just going to go now and select these, and then repaint the bits for the planes. And so I'm going to go and set up another area. I've got my basic color at the bottom there, which is fine. I'll just leave that one at summer base. But I'm now going to set up areas above this. So above summer base, I'm just going to go and create another folder. And this one will just be planes. Is it planes or is it planes? Hang on, planes. Planes. Anyway, I'll just call it planes for now. I'll just double check. I want to make sure I do it exactly as plain. It's plain without the S. I want to use this so I can actually then reference it for coming back and doing other things. So this is going to be plain. And actually, I just need to rename it. I'll just make it actually lowercase. Actually, I'll make it underscore plain. That way I know that that's actually going to be my plain layer, and I have to have this one turned on with summer to do the summer one, and then I'm going to need to do underscore W to do the winter plane. And so with this one here, I'm going to go and add in a bitmap layer, so a new raster layer inside that one. So just make sure that is inside. Yep, it is. And so this is going to be the base. You can call a lot of things base. And then we're going to have to put another vector layer, so a new vector layer above that one, and this one is going to be called the detail. Now I'm going to also then create another one, because I'll probably end up using the same base time and time again. Now there's another way I can do this. Actually, no, that should still be okay. So so with this one in mind, I'm just going to go and create, actually I'll call it base, and I've got detail there. What else do I need in this one? I think I'll just leave it, yeah, I'll just leave it like that one. So okay, so what I'm just going to do is I'm going to be a bit all over the place here. Sorry, guys, just as I get used to trying to think this one through. So what I want to do is I want to use this as my reference. I'm just going to go into the into my wand tool selection for reference layer, which is fine. Now it doesn't. With this one here, if I can just go and click on. See, this is why I can just use this one here. So I've got my base selected. Let's just go and grab all of these. And I'm pretty sure water doesn't change. I think the water just stays the way it is. So I won't change the water. But this is going to be my base layer essentially. So I'm just going to go and tweak these. I think that's all I need to do. It should be okay. All right. So I'm just going to go and with that one selected, I'm just going to go and think, okay, well, planes are going to be sort of like a lightish green, so I'll just go and start there. So it's sort of like a greeny, maybe even a greeny sort of gold type color. So maybe sort of something a little bit like this. And I'll just go and fill. So just edit fill and just see how this thing actually does work. So for planes, if we start there, I think, and then what we'll do is we'll go and set up. And so what I want this one to be, there's another brush that I'm going to be using. where I have, I'm just going to find which one I want to use with this one. Probably haven't used it since this actually. That's fingertips. This one here. We want a big watery brush. Mess maker. That's the one, I'm pretty sure. Just make it a bit darker. That's too much. So I just want to give it a bit of texture underneath what I'm actually doing there. I might just go back and grab this one again and just sort of end up just etching a bit of this back out, just so it's got a bit of sort of stuff going for it. Okay, so I can sort of do anything I like with this as well. Like I can sort of, I can chop and change things, but this will be just for basic planes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go Control D and just deselect that one. To give it a bit more context, because we now actually have, if I turn the summer layer back on underneath it, we've now got these actually happening. If I turn back on my foreground layer, so that's now the look of the overall areas that we actually have. I'm now going to ditch, like I've got a lot of things happening in these different areas. So let's just go across now with the foreground layer. It's this one here that's the problem. And I'm just going to go and for the planes, I'm actually happy with the look of most of these. So I'm going to actually I'm just going to go and grab everything from here. So Control A, Control C. And I think I can just go and place it straight into here. Control V. Oh, hang on, no, it's that's not done it. Just go Control Z. It should do it actually. Yeah, actually, no, it should still do it. If I just go Control V, and then what I'll do is I'll just go and grab these two layers and just merge them together. So I'll do this one, and then I'll start to turn off these other layers that we've actually got. So I'll just go into this layer, and let's go back into this side and just merge the selected layers together, and that will then keep detail. And so everything is now back on detail. I can now turn off that layer there, and I can just keep everything else there. So at least this gives me reference of everything that I've actually got. So I'm going to go now and set up all of these to be the actual planes layer. So inside this detail layer on the side here, so this one's going to be a little bit sort of finicky. I don't want all these trees, so I'm just going to go and delete. Whoops. That's backspace. No, that's still not it either. That's doing the whole thing. Just try it this way. Oh, Control D, that's what it is. Just try it this way. Delete. Yes, that's better. I don't want to have too many trees. It's fine having some buildings on the plains, so I'll just leave a few of these. The other thing I don't want, because I can still actually make the other copies. Anything that's actually in here, I've got to be careful of. That's actually fine for the plains. There's nothing else up this way that I can actually go and grab, so that's all just the planes down the bottom here. I'm just going to delete all the stuff out of here because we don't need this anymore. That one there I might keep. So I'll just keep like a lowly old tree in there every so often. Just come back across. Delete. Yeah, I'll just delete it. And to make more of these, I can just go into here and just go back into the map trees, back into this other side, and just select. What I need to do is I need to select the outline over here, and then I need to select a tree color, which I'm sort of happy enough with this over through here. So I'm going to go and select that one. I can then just go and click and just place a tree randomly wherever I feel like it. So these will just be random. That'll do. So there's a few things in here I'm going to need to get rid of as well. And so, in fact, I will get rid of this one here. So I'm just going to place just a couple of trees in through there as well. So that's just a very quick, easy way to just draw the trees in. Right, just go back to this one again. Select that one, delete. Now, as far as the graphics that I've got in through here, these are actually inside this layer. So if I just go back in, I'm going to delete all of the stuff that makes it look like it's a big rocky area. That one does too much. So that will then be a plains area rather than a gorge, and this is as well. And that one does a bit too much. I can still turn that one off. While we're here, what I'm just going to do is just going to go across one of my other brushes and just fix up some of these. So just use your liner cut. We've still got this same colour. That way we just get what we need in through there. I can get rid of that one there as well. Whoa. Do it with the correct tool this time. There we go. So that then sort of sets up where these don't have to be Highlands anymore. So with that one, we're just going to go back into our brush tool, and I do actually have like this grassland that I'd created, and so if I just go across and just paint a little bit of that in around the place as well. It just gives me the plains feel. And that is job done for the summer plains. So that's now a plains map. Now what we want is when we do the final plains thing, I'm going to then be turning off the background color. And I'll probably turn off, because that's the summer base. Yeah, the actual overall colour of this is actually not too bad, so I think I'll just keep that one. Again, I can just tweak it as we go. Hi Samuel, how you going? An anonymous stranger. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of the comments here, guys. So I've been enjoying the middle-aged Avalon stuff. Yeah, I'll be coming back in and doing more of that. I was almost going to do that today, but I really do want to get these maps done, just so I've got like a few of them. Sort of, the housing. So I'll just get the housing done. And so I've still got to make a few of these tools as well. So I'm going to have to make some more of these. So back in through here, I've got the map houses, and I will just go across into my secondary colour. I'm just going to go and grab that colour there, and then I just choose just make sure I've got that one selected. And I won't put too many, but I'll just put like a couple of, oops, that should have been okay. Why is that doing that? Because I'm in the wrong layer, that's why. Okay, so this is cool. It's gonna correct me if I get it wrong. So I'll just put a couple of houses in around the place. Now, depending on how hard I click, I can end up with sort of like big or small houses and castles and things. One thing I might just do actually is I might just tweak this one and just change it so that we end up with a stroke brush tip, and I'm just going to turn on the flip horizontal as random. So that way, it will turn things around a little bit, which will be good. So I'll just save that as a new default. Just click on OK. So the good thing about this one is if I decide, okay, look, I really want to have some red houses, some bright orange houses, I can just do this, and then go back to there, and then hey presto, I've got different coloured stuff. So this is a really good way to actually then sort of do things. But we won't do that. We will go back. I'll leave that one without any housing. Anyway, that's the plains. That's the plains look for those particular areas, which is fine. There may be a bit too many of some of these. I think I'll just go and get rid of some of those. That one's good, but that looks reasonable actually. I'll just get rid of that one as well. So just one or two houses in the plains. So these are not built up. These are not big built up areas. The farmlands are. So I'll actually I'll make more of a cityscape when we do the farmlands. So I'll get that one done. I'm actually happy with that as my plains area for the actual map itself, and it sort of works in pretty well with the way the water is at this stage, and we will have to do water as well. So in that sort of sense, I think plains is actually working pretty well. So even the mottled look actually doesn't look too bad. I could go back in. I'll just change this one so that we've got the lock transparency, and I can actually then just go back in. I can do little things like, for example, just to make it look a little bit nicer. Go back into this mess maker brush. I might just make it a little bit smaller in scale, and I can then just go back in, grab a color here and make it a bit more yellow, I think, and a little bit lighter, and just see what that actually looks like. I don't mind that actually. That one, does look fairly interesting. Just in terms of the planes, it sort of gives it a bit more texture. So it's fine for planes. Planes are done. Control save. Now the same area just gets used time and time again. So I'm just going to go to where I've got plane, and I'm just going to close that one down and duplicate the layer. And so this is going to be, might as well do forest next, I guess. All right, underscore forest, just turn the plane layer off. And again, I've already now set this one up so that it's now set to the transparency. One thing I should be able to do here is just go to filter and then just go to, which one would it be? I hardly ever use this one. Render, sharpen, no, it's none of those. Edit. I want to do a Photoshop type thing where I do the tonal correction. There we go. Let's go with curves. There should be a curves, tonal correction under curves. So I'll just do I'll try the tone curve and just sort of see how that one actually does work. That's RGB. Actually, I'll cancel that one. I'll just go and do a different one. So I'll just go back into which one was it? It was edit and tonal correction. So I've got hue, saturation, luminosity. That'll be fine. So we can then sort of see what's just going to happen to this one layer. So if we change the saturation, the luminosity, just change it down so it becomes a little bit darker than what it was. So just a shade. It doesn't need to be too much. And I can change the hue as well if I wanted to try to tweak things a little bit. So that's more of a browny sort of color. But I can sort of make use of this to show things a little bit differently. Let's make it a bit more of a deeper green, and this will be for the forest. And what we might do is actually also change the saturation down a little bit and just make it a bit more sort of dull. So that there as a base for the forest actually doesn't look too bad. It's maybe just a little bit too dull. So I want to keep it still fairly light. But that's as our forest base, that actually looks fine. So we'll just go and click on OK. That's just changed everything on that particular layer all in one go. And so if I turn back on the plains layer underneath and just turn off the on and off the forest, that's the plains to forest in terms of the base. Now in terms of the top, what we do need to do here is to go into, I'm going to keep these ones locked away. In fact, what I should do is just lock that layer down just so I don't accidentally make a mistake with it. So I will have to duplicate that one though. This one here, we've got the, I'm just going to go and grab this tool here. I don't know if I can select everything and then just delete. Yeah, it looks like I can. Yeah, I can. Cool. So we can, whoops. Oh, that's still there. I didn't realize that I still had all these stuff. Okay, now they've got rid of everything. Okay, cool. So what we actually end up having here is, actually, where's that one coming from? It's coming from here. Oops, I don't want to be moving that one around. So I'm going to do this one bit by bit. Let's get rid of the grass. Now we're looking through to the kelp forest. I'm going to be changing that one. Okay, so let's now just do the forests in through here. So so anonymous stranger saying, looks good, my dude. Did you draw all that? Yes. Yeah, I drew this a few years ago now. Actually, I'll just have a quick drink. I just have to reacquaint myself with how I did it, which is a bit of a pain. Okay, so tree time. Let's just go. We got our outline layer over here. The tree color, I'm just going to go and choose a nothing sort of too dark, but fairly like a bit dull with the actual trees. And let's just sort of see how this looks. As long as I do that, and I just go back to my detail layer here, and so with this detail layer, I can then just go back in and. Actually, yeah, no, that's all okay. I'm just thinking there's a good chance I'm going to make mistakes. Now, I've got to stay inside the line when I do this now. So I'm just going to go back across to my trees. Now, I've got two different types of trees. I've got sort of like a bit more of a sort of like a general sort of tree. Oops, what's happening there? Oh, I've kept this one. What have I done? Grab that one and let's go back to the greens and just get like a sort of a bit more of a deeper type green. In the detail. Oh, yeah, I had the wrong. It's very finicky. It's too pale. Let's come back in. Make it a little bit stronger, a bit brighter. I can do some bright like this. It's probably a little bit too bright now. So I'll just bring it back a little bit. I'm happy with that. And as long as I'm inside the area, I'm going to be fine. I'll do a few with this sort of look. I just got to make sure that I stay inside the borders. This is a really good way to do this. You can see how nice and fast it is. The cheats way of doing maps for Dominions. Yeah, we'll just change that color, that second color up a little bit. Make it a little bit darker for some of these. What I might do is I might just change the color that we've got through here. That's a bit too dark. That's that second green. This is more sort of like pine tree type stuff. As far as the game's concerned, it's all forest. I won't worry too much about the. Got an error there at the top. Let's go back and make a bit more of a light green, and we'll go back to the original map types. That should be okay, I think. It's just got to look okay, but I've got to be careful because we're always going to have the outlines are always going to be exactly the same. Okay, so they're nicely self-contained. Let's just go back to the other green. Just change it a little bit, just so we get some variation. Now we're getting some tweaking inside there, which I don't want. So I'm just going to go back into here and just going to go and delete some of these lines. I'll keep the rocks, but just get rid of the line work that's actually in there, because it's just going to get in the way of what we're trying to do in here. Now, underneath this, I can go back to the bottom layer that I actually had, my base layer underneath here, and I might just go and just tweak a little bit underneath there as well. So I'll just go back into that other brush that we had, that mess maker brush, and I'll make this one a bit darker. Just grab one of these greens and just sort of see what actually happens in there. It's a bit too much. I'll just reduce the size. Nope, that's still not going to do it. No, that's not going to work. Just get some shadow in behind the actual trees themselves. Not too much. Just a little bit. Alright, so that's the forest layer. That's pretty much now done. So Kodiak's saying, task, devise a world where mortals get yeeted upon by elves, demons, and demon-worshipping humans. You can set that up. You can set that up. It's actually not too hard, to be honest. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to go, I can actually make this same brush into an eraser. Actually, no, I don't want to do the eraser. I'll do it this way, just to get a little bit more variation back in amongst the forest itself, just so it's not too overwhelming. All right, that's our forest layer. That's good. That works. We'll just minimize that one and lock that one down as well. Okay, we're going to turn that one off. Go back to the planes layer, duplicate the layer. And this one is going to be, now need to unlock this one. So we've got forest. Let's do, what's the next one? So we've done forest, wasteland. So we'll just go back and do wasteland. What I should do is actually get rid of all the stuff in here and then just to have a master sheet basically ready to go, just so I don't have to sort of tweak it all each time. All right. So this one is going to be, I'll just call this one master, and I'll use this one to do the copies from. And just go and press delete. Actually, that's easy enough just to get rid of it anyway, to be honest. And then we've just got this one here, the base copy. Actually, I won't bother with master because I can just easily just press delete and get rid of all of the stuff in that first layer. So this one here is going to be what was it? What we're doing? Was it wasteland? Waste underscore waste. Just so I know what to save these as. All right. So with this one here, we go back into this side. We've already got this one, the other side locked in. Now what we'll do is we'll just start with a. Actually, if I do go back to that tonal, so edit, tone correction, hue, saturation, luminosity. Let's take this saturation right down, so we end up with sort of like a grey looking thing to it, and the hue we'll make it so that it's more not pink, but just a little bit more red, just a shade. The luminosity. I do want it fairly pale. Something like that, actually. I'm actually not unhappy with that. Let's just go and add in a little bit more depth. Just go and grab one of these colors, just make it a bit darker, and then just go and grab that brush that we were playing with. Bit of a splatter every so often. Don't want it too dark. I might just come back in and just override some of these a little bit in there. Okay, so that's the base. Now I did set up a wasteland thing yesterday, so I haven't tested this one properly, but what we'll do is we'll just go back across. There's wasteland. So I'm not exactly sure how this one will work. We'll just have to go to detail copy, and yeah, I think that'll still be okay. Detail copy, and the top layer has to be that colour, and the bottom layer, we want this to be a bone colour. So I'm just going to go back into sort of these sort of colours and then just make it fairly pale. So something maybe like this. And see how that one looks. Yep, that looks fairly good. These look good actually. Oops. So I just drew these little things yesterday. There's a nice fast way to do these maps, I've got to say. As you can see, we've got those skulls on this side. Oh, there we go. Got two in that one. Come on, give us a skull. There we go. And we'll try to crack one in here as well. It's just random which one it's going to bring up. It should be a 1 in, I think it's about a 1 in 8 chance. There we go, got a skull there. All right, so that's the wastelands done. That looks good. So the Wondrous Arena maps, thanks for your service. Yeah, not a problem at all. So Daz, should kelp forest be in the forest layer too? No, it shouldn't actually. If you in the map manual, I thought it may be, but it's actually not. So the map manual has got different things in through there. So that's actually a completely different layer. So anyway, that's those layers. That's actually good. Wasteland is done. So that's we can do that one and lock this one down. And we'll just do another duplicate of this one. Duplicate layer. Turn that one off. And this one here is going to be. Just unlock this layer. So the next one in the list is, so you can see that we've got forest, waste, farm, swamp, highland, plain, kelp, and then water. They're the ones that we have to do. Then we have to create winter versions, but I can cheat with that. So I'm going to be cheating with all of those. I'll be making versions of those, but that'll be a little bit different. Yeah, I should be able to make that. Yeah, that shouldn't really be a problem. Okay, so with the so the next one we have is farm. Underscore farm. All right, so with this one, just come back in, grab all of those, delete, and I think I might make these a bit more yellow than what we actually had. So when I go to the base layer and through here, I'm just going to go back into edit, tonal correction, hue saturation, and we'll just sort of see where we end up going with this one. That's going to make it go more blues and purples. That's going to make it more green. Where do we end up getting it more yellow? Must be just back this way, just slightly. I think in there is probably the best. Saturation I'm actually happy with, and the luminosity I'm actually happy enough with that as well. Actually, in fact, we might even, I might just make it a bit duller, just because I want the farmland itself to be a little bit different. Now I haven't tested the farmland, so I'll just see how we go with that one. So with the farmland itself, this will then have, I'm going to put housing behind it and also in front of it. So let's just go to the houses. And in fact, the colours that we've got for the housing right now is actually pretty good. So just put a couple of houses in behind these. So it's a little bit built up. I love this, the way you can just have it all random. And then I've got, I'll just change the colour of the actual, I'll just make it more of a yellowy colour, more of a gold for the farmland. Now I'm not sure how this is going to look. Let's just go across. I haven't tested this. The scale doesn't look right, does it? Does it need to be bigger? Just test this again. I may make it even a bit darker. just so we've got some depth. Try that. No, that's too dark. Maybe I'll go the other way. No, it does need to be yellow. But the overall scale needs to be better, so I'm just going to change that one up a little bit. So this is a slightly different style than what I did with the other one, so I'm just going to go to the brush size. Actually, that's still the same size underneath. Just go and make that one tighter, so we don't get quite as much, so maybe about 25. And then we go to the brush shape, the brush tip. Oh, hang on, that's the width. No, I want to keep the width. Yeah, I want to keep that at 100. Okay, and then it's got the spray effect. I'll just increase the particle size to around about, say, 40. That's looking a bit better, I think, as far as farmland is concerned. It's a bit strong, but I think it'll still be okay. Then we'll just go back to the pale yellow again for the housing. Here we are. Farmland done. All right, so that's fine. Start a game. The only thing I hope you not to encounter is Lemuria. Yeah, starts next to Lemuria. There we go. So that's the farms done. So this is a nice fast way to do this. This is it's good actually to have the brushes set up like this. It does take a bit of time to do that one, but God, it saves some time. Did I save the farmland? I'll just better save all settings as default for that one. There we go. It's done. All right. So that's farmland is now done and locked. Next one we have is swamp. I'm thinking of changing what I've got with swamp actually, and just tweaking that a little bit. But I'll probably do that when I do the underground. Yeah, I'll do it with the underground, I think. So just go back to plane, duplicate layer. Where we are. Unblock that one. And this is swamp. So with the swamp, we want to go and delete everything off this layer. Why is it not playing? Don't tell me I put that in the wrong spot. No, that's okay. Oh, farmland's still on, that's why. Yep, so we've got that one done. So swamp is now done, that's fine. So we're going to make this into more of a yellowy sort of colour. So I'll just go again into the tonal correction, edit, tonal correction, hue saturation. So I'll make it more yellow with much higher. Actually, not high, not so much higher. I'll go the luminosity backwards a little bit, but the saturation up, which will then make it sort of more of a bright sort of colour. So then make it a stronger sort of colour. That'll do. I'll just click on OK. Then I will actually just come back in with a few mottly looks, but I'll put the other one in there first. So I'm just going to start with a more of an orangey colour, I think. So I'll sort of go back into here somewhere. Just pick up something like this and just see what this looks like. So I've got mushrooms is what I've called it. Yeah, that's okay actually. That looks reasonable. And what I'll do is I'll just come back with some other motley colours underneath this one just to sort of see what it looks like. Damn it. Put it in the wrong spot. Have I got enough undos? No, I don't. Oh well. What we'll do is we'll just go back. I've put them in the wrong spot. I should have put them in the layer above. That's where I've just got to be so careful with everything I'm doing. Alright, so we're just going to go and what should I start with? I mean, it's sort of okay because it's just I like to be able to edit things afterwards. So I'm just going to go and Alt-click that colour there. Maybe just make it a little bit more yellowy, or a bit more orangey sort of colour. And then just do a edit paste, or edit fill. Then we'll go back to our trusty old mess maker, and we'll make this one into a bit more of a, maybe even a bit more reddish sort of colour, a bit more earthy. I'm just going to get a splodge of orange and just have it so that it's sort of a bit, it's probably a bit strong actually. And I'm actually thinking a bluish sort of colour as well, like a, you know, an aqua type sort of colour. Just see what that looks like. I just think from making it look a bit wet. Just as the base for the mushrooms themselves. Okay, now we can go back into the mushroom colour. So we get the outline colour correct, and then we get the, actually the orange colour is pretty much where I want it. Alright, back to mushrooms. Nope, I'm going to select that colour there. It's not, it's, yeah, so this one's going to be okay. I'll just go back into here and just go a little bit paler. Or maybe a bit stronger. Can't really tell it's swamp. I think it's because the background colour is too bright. Edit tone. Actually, what I might do is I might just do a little bit more here and just see, because I didn't mind what we had there before, Let's just see what it looks like with just that. And we'll just now tweak the background. Edit, tonal transformation, hue saturation. I think that will look okay. Yeah, these then stand out pretty well on top. These look fairly swampy, so I just got to make sure I don't go on the onto the actual borders themselves, because that won't count. There's our swamp. Okay. So this is the thing that shows who is the experienced artist here. That's what I do for my day job. All right, so that's done. Okay, we'll just I should better save where I am. So swamp is now ready to go. So that's that can be locked away. Duplicate this layer. Unblock. Turn off the swamp. And the next one is Highland. So I'm going to have to draw that one. Plain we've already done. Then we have to do kelp and then water. Water is when this is all going to flood. So we're then going to have to sort of draw what happens if it does flood. And it's a bit of a tricky one, because I'm sort of going to have to make it look like it's actually just a big flooded area with an outside border. So we'll have to, that will be, as I say, a little bit unusual, but we'll figure that one out as we do it, I think. So yeah, that's the last one we have to then go and do there. So if we just go to plain copy, this one's going to be Highland. Now this is going to have to be drawn directly on. So let's just go down. And the Highland is probably going to have to be sort of like more of a browny colour, I think. I won't go too far away from what I got here. Maybe just add to what we have back in this area. And just with that one there, I'll just go and delete everything on that layer. All right, so let's just see how we go with just adding a bit more brown into the mix. That's the mess maker. We want that to be a bit darker. Don't want to go overboard. So I might make it browner. I might just go back to the tonal correction. And I'll just make the saturation a bit lower, and then the hue. It's a bit too much. Quite like this sort of colour. All right. So G is saying, "That's my guy. Thanks for the entertaining, informing videos. Makes me gives you something to watch on breaks between my C and A class. I don't know what that is." And Tom Sawyer is saying, "Hey, I'm a brand new player. What nation do you recommend starting as? I love the designing you do. Thanks for that one. It's okay. You're probably better off with Ulm. So just play as as Middle Age Ulm, and it's a fairly easy one to sort of just get the hang of, really. I won't do too much with this paler, but I'll just go and throw this in. It's probably just a little bit too weak with what I've just done here. So that sort of looks a bit rocky, just with the actual tone that's underneath there. And now what we just want to do is just come through and basically put the same sort of deal as what I've got in through this other side. So I'm just going to go back into my detail and just go back to my lino cut, and I do want to actually do this in the correct color, so I'm just going to have to do it this way. I'll stay inside the lines. Something over there that was bothering me. So this is sort of like hills and you know, potentially sort of rocky terrain. Usually has sort of different resources and things in it. So there's no point making these into anything that's going to be, you know, sort of put into a brush. I'm just going to have to do these ones and the water ones as well. And have to be sort of, actually I can tweak the water ones a little bit. I do have a way to set them up, just for the outside edge. Okay, so then we're just going to go back through, and I'm just going to go and paint in underneath this one. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit and just go to the layer underneath. And just give that a little bit more detail as if it's coming in off the side. I was thinking if there was a way that I could do this one a bit faster than doing it this way, but I don't think there really is. So again, that little white dot, I don't know if you can see it, but sort of there's one just right there. In the middle of every single province, there's actually a white dot. They don't have to be on these maps. They just have to be on the main map that you create. In fact, I don't even know if they have to be on the final graphic that you do. Actually, oh no, maybe they do, because it'll look for it. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I haven't tested that. I've never bothered testing it to see if that would actually then go and work. Alright, we're nearly done with the standard maps, and then it's not going to be that difficult once we sort of come back across for the winter maps either. So the winter maps will be a bit faster than doing all this. Let's get in there. So Quatmaster's saying that looks great. Yeah, it's coming together pretty well actually. I'm happy with how fast this is to do as well. To be honest, with by having the brushes all set up, it certainly makes life a lot easier. Now what I will do is I'm just going to tweak the colours on these. I should have probably put this on their own layer in hindsight, the bits that I'm just drawing in now, because I then would have more control over it. But that'll be okay. So then what I want to do is just come back in and we'll just go back to our brushes. I want it sort of like an oil colour, watery odd. What does that one do? If I reduce the size of this one, just going to blend this in a little bit with the stuff that's underneath, just a little bit, so it's not quite as harsh. But what I will then come back and make another harsh layer in with this as well. But this is just to sort of push the actual hill down a little bit and blend it into the background. I won't worry about getting an actual blur brush, I'll just do it this way. Alright, so, and then we'll just come back to my lino cut tool, grab that, and which direction do the light's coming from? I guess this side here. So this colour scheme I'm using here is the same as what I had done originally for those rocks, which don't change. Okay. Right, so there's our rocky land, that's the Highlands, and let's pop some houses in as well. Make them sort of that sort of colour, and we'll just go back to the map houses. Oops. Not very many, just some every so often. Oops, underneath that one there, we don't want that. There we go, looks great. Actually, we could even put some trees in, you know. Might do that as well. Just go back to my standard old trees. I wonder if we should put some trees in some of the other ones as well. We might come back and have a look at those and just see if we want to... Oops, I keep on doing the wrong thing. I just got to select that one first. It's not really dark enough. Yep, that looks pretty good. So that's done. It's probably a bit too strong, but it's still okay. They're not going to be all over the place, these sorts of areas. So that just gives us those. I am worried about this being so strong. When we actually have a look back at the if we turn Highland off, yeah, it's a fairly big difference between Highland and then the plains, but I guess it still looks rocky. One thing I could do here would be to, in Highland, is to just go and throw in a different sort of layer. I can put in a correction layer. New layer. We'll do a tone. Actually, that's not going to be the one. New correction layer. There it is. Let's do a hue saturation layer again, I think. I've got level correction. Don't really want that one. Tone curve. Yeah, don't really want that one either. Gradient map. No, I think I'll just go with hue saturation again. And so this is actually a layer that we're just placing in, and so we're just going to go and change the luminosity and just push it up a little bit, just overall, just so that the overall map looks a little bit more pale. I quite like that actually. Doesn't need to be very much. Now, one of the problems I've got there now is that the trees now look a bit stupid, so I'm just going to go and change that. I'm just going to go and grab this layer. Actually, no, I won't. I'm just going to go and place another vector layer over the top, and I'm just going to come back in and just manually grab the others. In fact, I can just do it. I should have just done it a different way anyway, but I'll just go and grab. Why is that not wanting to play? Oh, don't tell me I've done it again. Ah, oh, you idiot, you've done it again. I've done it again, guys. Oh, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna come back in and just fix it. So we're just gonna go and turn off that layer. I'm just gonna go and paint over the top using these sorts of colors. So I'll just go back to this this sort of blotchy looking thing, and I'll just blotch it over the top of these. I keep on forgetting to do that. I should actually lock that layer down when I do this. Pain in the ass. All right, back to getting the mess maker. So we can go a bit darker as well, because I'm going to be lightening all this off anyway. Mask where I've done all that wonderful retouching. All right, so that's that layer. Let's just now turn back on the correction layer, which then lightens all of that stuff. And then what we want to do is have the other layer above that, which is then going to be for the houses and the trees. So I might put the trees in first, I think. In fact, I've got them ready to go anyway. So I'll just go back this way and grab the trees. Actually, I don't want too many. All right, it's better. And then just the houses. Here we are. That looks much better, actually. That looks heaps better. So we've got the strong graphics on top of the weak graphics underneath. So, hi Tenru, how you going? So, and Yonin's saying, I've always wanted to be able to do this sort of thing. Watching this has made me think might even be possible, especially with that $40 software you're using. Yeah, I forget, it's a couple of $100, the Clip Studio, to get the professional version. But for me, it's really, really well worth it. Now, let's have a tweak of these layers here. We just want to see what actually happens if we sort of change the luminosity up even more. I don't mind it, actually. We don't want it darker, we just want it up a little bit. It's just not bad if I bring the saturation down. So even actually bringing the saturation up isn't too bad. Do I want to play with the hue at all? No, not really. Maybe there, I think. That doesn't look too bad actually, just for the Highlands. Okay, so that'll do for the Highlands. So that's done. Bring that one up, and that one is going to be locked away. Next one is we've done the plains already. Kelp and water. That's all we have to do. So the water's going to be difficult. The kelp is really only going to be in these other areas. Now I've got the kelp there. I'm going to have to find out which layer that one's on. Let's just turn that layer off. All right, that's actually still on that plains layer. Let's go and turn that one off and just come into this area. Just delete these. All right, so yeah, because we don't need it on the plains layer either. So with the plains layer, we'll just go Control C. Oops, hang on. Just right click and duplicate. And this one's going to be underscore kelp. We're nearly through actually with these before we do the winter maps. So we'll have to figure out a way to do the winter maps so that we don't have to go through and do all this again. So I've got the kelp in through that side, and just having to think about this one. If we go with the we want the plane to be locked away again now that we've done what we just had to do. So let's just go back in here. I don't want to make any mistakes with this. Now the base copy. Now we need to copy what we've got here. And so, so I'm just going to go and unlock this one because this is now the water. And just trying to think of the best way to do this. The water doesn't change much. It does change with gorges. Oh, hang on, does it? Yes, it does actually. Yes, it does. I have to go back to Highlands and put the water maps in. So the Highland does change because it's Highland/gorge. So the last one we just did is not quite ready yet. So we're going to have to go back in and tweak this one, but I'll have to get the water done first. And so I'm just going to go and set up a base for that. Yeah, so kelp forest. I think that's the only one we have to really worry about. Well, from what it's sort of telling us anyway. So let's go back into if I select all of that. That should be all I need to do actually. If I just go back down to the summer base, which has then got that particular colour, and I don't mind it. If we just go back into the base again, the summer base, yeah, it certainly does weaken it. I might reduce it a little bit so we just get a bit more depth in the water, because we've got a few stronger colours now as we're sort of going through. Let's turn off that one for now, and with summer base, I'm just going to go and tweak this here and make it go backwards a little bit. Actually, no, it was pretty good where it was. Actually, I'll leave it like this. So this will actually be okay. I'll just I'll take a copy of all of that one. So now when we go back down, I've got my reference layer, which is down through here. And so when I go and select the tool, I can just go and select these, and it's going to then pick up the exact colours because it's actually all been defined as a colour. This one makes it really, really easy. And so I'm just going to go and select. When we go back to summer. Going to do a copy with that, and I don't know if I can paste that as one layer, which I would like to do. Let's just turn Kelp layer back on again and edit, paste. I'll just do that. That's now put both of those layers in there, and I'm just going to go and grab those two layers and set them up as a, I'm just going to merge those together. Okay, so it's now all just one layer, and then we'll just move that one down onto this other layer as well. And so this will then be what we also then use for the water. So when we do the kelp, we'll then sort of use this to ultimately do the water layer next. And so with that one there, I'm just going to turn off that aspect. Is that what we want? You know what we want? We actually don't want this other one for kelp. And then we don't want the kelp one when we do the water. So I'm just going to go and ditch this layer, because all we need to be working on is in here. So I'm just going to go and grab that one. I'll just turn it off for now, just so that's actually just not there at all. It's actually, that's now part of the summer, like the actually we've got the plane selected, and then we've got the summer base, which we're just going to ultimately ditch anyway. So just leave that one there. There's nothing we have to really worry about with that one, so I'll just leave that one. I'll leave it on for now, just so we've got the colour reference, and then the detail for kelp. So just go Control D. So all we need to do is now just put kelp into all three of these, or sorry, all of these, not just all three. There's a lot more than three. We've got 8, 9 different water layers. So if we just go back across again, and I'll just have to tweak this. I was playing around with it. Does that look okay? It doesn't really. Let's make it a greeny, aquary sort of colour. That's not bad, actually. Yeah, I've got that one across the top again. Any colour, any lines at work that's over the top is going to get in the way. Now, I'm not sure if the water province, maybe we do need to actually have the water province with the whole lot, because it may still replace these with the water, which I don't want it to, so I don't want that to sort of change it too much. Now, these don't really work all that well, but I'll just leave it like that. So that's actually, it still looks okay for what we've got. So that's kelp. I don't know if I don't like this, but it's all part. It says I won't worry about it. I'll just leave it where it is. So we'll leave that one there. That's the kelp done. Now we've got the water layer. I will actually keep both layers together. So we'll actually use kelp as my starting point for water. And I'll just go and lock that one in and duplicate this layer. Where is it? Duplicate layer. Alright, so we've got the Kelp copy. This can be underscore water. Just in case it uses the this one for the other water as well. I'm just not sure if it does. Alright, so I'll just move that one down below Kelp. And then water just needs to be unlocked. Now we've got the two different versions in here. Just go back to this one and delete everything off that layer. Turn off Kelp. And we've got the yep, cool. Right, so we've got this layer here now. So I'm just going to change this one up. I'm just going to go to the, actually, and what I will do is I'll just leave this one the way that is. That's actually all fine. This one here, we just want to go and tweak this one across and make this one a bit more bluey. So this will be tonal correction, hue saturation, and if we go this way, that should make it more aquary. I don't want it to look icy. If I make it go like this, but then change the luminosity down, that one looks okay. Alright, let's make this into water. Now this is a bit of a tricky one because ultimately we're going to have areas inside here. Now if I just go to detail, I'm just going to make it sort of like a big lake. Now I do actually have a map water edge here. We'll just see what this one looks like. It's not bad actually. Make it more blue than the water. If we make this one a bit smaller, oops, and go back to this one here again. I'll do it this way, I think. That way we end up with sort of like a map border that's going to give a fairly easy water impression. So I'd made this for the for one of the multiplayer maps that I'd made. So this is if these waters, and now I don't know how we're going to test if this actually happens. I'm in the right area, yeah I am, that's good. So as these become flooded, alright, so I'm just going to make this my own reference layer again. So I'm just going to go and change that one across, and then we'll just do a fill with this colour. Oh, I can't. Actually, no, that's okay. I can go back to here and do this one. No, I'll do it back to here. And just fill these colours in.
Okay, so that's now water provinces, and also what I will now just do is go back into my my detail layer and just grab that colour there, go back to lino cut and just so as the land becomes flooded. Now there's no way to test this at this stage, I don't think. Okay, so John was saying, does what will happen if the land outside the water edge, does it get filled in? Well, I need to still have it isolated. Like if this gets flooded, this will then become a fully water province, which means that there won't be any, like even though I've got a little bit of land, I don't want to just make it coloured. I prefer to have it so that it looks like it is like a water province. And that's working out okay, actually. I don't mind that. So that's, like, you know, if the whole map was flooded, that's what, and this would then be all water provinces if that was the case. So I think that sort of does that one. So this is now going to be water. Yep, so that's fine where that is. Now the water is everything in there, so that's actually works out pretty well. So we've now got all of these. Now if we go to, if we turn that one off, so this map here, now the other thing I want to turn off is, so if I turn off the summer base, I then want to also make sure I turn off the flats. And that will then be my plains. So when I turn on summer base, that's my base map. So let's just save this one. Now we start to now just do save as. So we'll just go and I'll just export these out so we can sort of test them. So file, save as. Actually, I can do it a different way. File, export single layer to Targa. There we go. Cool. And so this will be arena map DOM 6. Arena DOM 6. I'll just call it that one because that's what it's going to ultimately be called. So we'll just go that way. So that's done. That's all okay. So that's the first one done. Then we'll just go to plains, and we're just going to turn off summer for that, and just go nice and flat colors. So we'll just go and do file. I could, if I wanted to, get rid of all of the detail other than just the border, but I'll leave it like this. This will then make it a smaller file because it's big flat areas of color. So it should make it smaller. Targa does actually have a compression format. So we've got, now, what did I call it? The arena map DOM 6 underscore plains, or underscore plain. So that's why I wanted to make sure I had the right color. So that was underscore plain there. Save. And okay. Next one is going to be, I'll just start at the top, forest. So file, export single layer, Targa. This is underscore forest. So the naming is important. All right, that looks good actually. I like that one. Then wasteland. File, export. Targa. I start to make mistakes with this sort of stuff, so I just want to make sure I am very, very stringent. So this is waste. Save. And the next one is farm. File, export, single layer targa. I don't know which factions start off with what types of what types of starts, so I'm just not 100% sure on some of those. Then we've got swamp. So we can sort of push things into certain directions, like Satis will start with the swamp, for example. So we can test a lot of these out just by changing the factions, like Pangaea will always start with the forest. But I'm not sure who starts with farmlands. So we've got export single layer, targa. And this one is swamp. Now I'm going to be able to automate pretty much my my winter map. So I'll find a way to sort of do that so I can do them all pretty much at the same time. So we've got Highland. Okay, so file, targa. Oh, no, I didn't actually. I screwed this one up. I'll still just do it for testing, but we have to remember that this one needs a water layer. So we need to get the water layer for this one, because these all have to be done as if they could actually ultimately end up being gorges as well. So we need sort of underwater gorges in through this other one here. So you're making different layers of the map by chance. Yeah, these to do in Dominion 6, it semi-randomly places terrain. And again, I don't know who starts with this terrain. So that's Highland. So Highland we have to come back for. I might just pop that in my notes. Water gorges. So that's actually something that I need to come back and do. So I'll still just export it the way this is, but this one, we'll soon find out if there's any gorges that are generated on the map, they're going to come up brown. So that will be a thing that we'll notice. So that's Highland. Then we've got Kelp. So Kelp will only be in the. Actually, I wonder if could Kelp. No, it wouldn't. Surely it wouldn't end up in here. Or could it? I don't know. Not sure. Because these will then become underwater provinces, so they could change to Kelp. I better do that as well. Anyway, let's just start here anyway. So we'll just go and export single layer target. And this one is going to be underscore Kelp. Save. Yeah, because that one can transform. That could certainly terraform. So if we just go back in, I better do this one as well. Kelp, flooded land. So I just need to make sure that I actually do that as well. So I'm going to have to put the other. So both those layers need both water and the other one by the looks of things. I'm pretty sure that this water can't go back the other way. In fact, I don't think any water can, but I'm just not sure. So I may need to go back and make the whole map all plains, including the water, but I just can't see that happening. Yeah, so Silth is saying terraforming did not make things easier for map makers. No, it didn't. It certainly didn't. But it's going to make things a lot more interesting. And then we have a whole underground layer, which I won't have time to do in this session, I don't think. So we've got the kelp in through there. I think I exported that one. Then we've got our water. So this is the full water. This is the full amount. So we'd need to bring this one across to then put the kelp into it. So file, export single layer to Targa. And this one is just underscore water. Sorry, there's dogs barking. My dogs. I think there's someone here. But okay. There goes my dreams of my MS Paint map. So this is now set up with all those different layers that we just created. Let's now go and place them and see what it looks like. So we shouldn't have to do any other coding than what we actually had from before, I don't think, anyway. So because we know that we tested the map and it will actually change things depending on what's actually there. So we'll just go and save what we've got here, and then we'll just go back and do it. So I'll just go and quit this one. And so we've got, this is our maps area. This is our DOM6 maps area. Oh, I've put this in a different place. Okay, I'll just go and open up another location. Files, DSA, YouTube in through this side, and then back into here. So we've got those, illustration, DOM file. I think is it under here? Yeah, it is. It is. So I'm just going to go and grab all of those. So all the DOM6 maps that we just generated. So they all get copied down into this layer. Place the file. Yeah. So because we've got flat colors, they're not super big, but they are still overall. It's quite a big session. So we've now got Arena DOM6, then we've got Arena DOM6 underscore farm, forest, highland, kelp, plain, swamp, waste, and water. And we also have winter as well. So we have to then create winter versions of all of these as well, which won't be as onerous as it sounds. So we can automate a lot of that stuff. Let's go and build. So what we got in here. Let me think about this. If we go with the... yeah, I've got a funny feeling I should have made everything plains. Oh, actually, I don't know. I don't know if the water can be terraformed. I've got no idea about that one. I mean, it's going to be rare if it is, but it's going to be weird if it suddenly comes up with a brown colour for the terraformed. At least I guess it's better than not. But I will have to go and fix these two things. I'm pretty sure that can actually happen. Just go and save those. So that's all done. Let's actually just test it and see how it works. And then if that works, then I'll call it quits at this point. So we'll just go to Create World, load a map, Arena, OK, test, delete that game, just go Middle Ages. Now, again, I'm not sure who starts with what, but we'll just go and get, I can only have I can have 4 players if 2 are water and 2, and let's just make these all human. Just right click on those. And so we'll get ourselves Pangaea, and let's go and get ourselves Ermor as well, and just see what that looks like. And then we get 2 water nations, because I've got 2 water nation starts. So Atlantis, I'm not sure what they would end up getting, and we'll go with Oceania. Let's go that way. So that will be the groups. Let's just see if this one actually now works. We'll see in a sec. Someone's here. Yeah. Thanks for that. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, guys. Guess what just arrived? That was a delivery guy, and we'll do an unboxing, a sort of unboxing, because I think I know what this is. Oh, that's cool. It's actually printed here in Australia, so I'm sure that's going to be. Oh wow! Look at this. There we go, live. Just got my Dom 6 manual. Oh god, it looks great. That is awesome. It's so much bigger. Like that is monstrous. See if we can get a bigger version. That is a live unboxing. That is the manual. I'll just see if I can grab a. I've got a large face cam one. I'll just see if I can get that one across. I don't know if this one works. Is it going to work? Just turn on the face cam. Yep, there we go. So there it is. That's the actual manual. Sorry about all the reflections, but that's awesome. That is so much bigger than the old manual. This is awesome. It's full of beautiful coloured pictures. So sorry, I've got the green screen sort of coming back in there, but that is really nice. Oh, I can't. This is awesome. Actually, it's really easy to read too. Like it's the text size is good even for my eyes. Like I don't have the greatest eyes, but that's the manual. Sorry about the background. Nothing much can do about that. Sorry, that's just the green screen. I'll show you the old manual while we're actually looking at that. So this is a live unboxing of the actual manual itself. So that's, how many pages is it? 442. So I think this is still the older version. I'll just see. I know there's a typo in it. I'll just see if the typo is still actually in here. Let's see which version this actually is. No, it's actually a more modern version. That's cool. So that's only just been. That's the latest. I know there's still some typos currently in it, but the last one before they made the change. That's really cool. I'll just go and have a look. I'll show you the difference between Dom 3 and Dom 6. Okay, that's the Dom 3 manual. So it's the same graphics have sort of been used. So if we look at that particular page there, again, sorry about the background, but that's basically the information in the book. So it's sort of got like and that hasn't changed much even from then. So it's got like Giant's Rest and stuff like this, but this one's got the actual colours. So I'll just try to find that same page to show the difference. Actually, no, it is different. It's a different map, but that's basically the same page. Look at the scale difference. Again, I'll just try to get something similar. Like that's the two of them sort of together. Yeah, that's really cool. So much bigger. Wow, what a beautiful book. That is really nice. Anyway, that's awesome. So yeah, but it's a good read. It actually is a good read. So that's awesome. I'm really stoked with that. Well, that'll give me something to do over lunchtime, is to have a really good look through it. It's a massive. It's the best gaming manual ever written. Like it seriously is. Even back when it was first written in Dom 2, I think was the first one, and like with Dom 3, I actually made I wanted the manual that badly that I made sure that I got the version with the manual because it is just so good. And Dom 6 manuals, heaps more in it than what was there. So Tactics with Joe saying, how's the game? It is awesome. It's incredible, actually. Anyway, let's just go Pangea. I'm just going to click on OK. Just going to press R. So there we go. Live unboxing. That was literally the... I wasn't expecting it for weeks. So this one should be okay. We'll just click on OK. This is Ermor. We'll just do a random one in here. And then we've got Oceania. Just go random in this one as well. And then we've got Kings of the Deep. And we'll just see how this one actually looks. Hopefully this will then work. It may crash. I mean, we can't have too many good... Oh, hang on. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to go back to the screen grab.
There we go. So here we go. So will this work? At least we got to this screen. So let's just go and have a look. Pangea, please be in forest. Yes, 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 yes. Now look at this. We've got our kelp forest in here, and we've got the forest in through this side, and then we've got the troll canyons, which is so this is all working perfectly, and including, look at this over through here with Ermore being wasteland, and then just having plains around it. So that's just plains in through there. So and the background is weak enough to be able to carry what's going on, which is actually nice. So that works out well, and that actually stands out pretty damn well actually. So if I have a look at Ermore, so Ermore has now got the wasteland. Oh, this is nice. This I meant to shade that one out there, but this is like the I won't recorrect that one. I'm happy enough for that to be whatever it's going to be. That won't matter that much. It's just I did notice this the other day. I got a little section out there that I didn't actually do properly when I'd set the map up. Now I'll be able to then build other things. Let's just go and end our turn here, and just go to Ermore. Now this is very, very pale because of what we're seeing. Oh, there we go. We've actually got farmland over here. We didn't get to see this one. So this is Hogberg-Burgdorf. We do get to see that one. We do get to see the plains in through there. We've got a throne down this way, and then we've just got plains out through this other side as well. So just two lots of plains. Farmland in through there. That actually works pretty well. Then Ermore itself is, and now the ghosting we see, we're not going to be able to do much about that one. If I click on one of the others, yeah, it's actually the Dominion that's actually causing the issue. So Ermore's already got his Death Dominion back out, starting to sort of kick back out that way. All right, that's cool. Let's end our turn here. Yes. Oceania, exit. And we've got the kelp forest back there. Yeah, so I still have got to do these other things. So that's fairly good. We've got another kelp forest down this other side as well. So that one looks pretty neat actually. That one does come up together pretty well. This is probably a bit too weak, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. That still actually sort of works. And we'll just go and escape. I can actually change this colour, by the way, if I'm not happy with the ghosting colour that actually gets put there. And we'll just go back across, end our turn there. Yes, and then Atlantis. Oh, and this one's actually cold. So we've actually got ourselves a cold area, which is just sea. So this is just a sea province, but this has already got the winter map showing. Now the winter map's from the old map, so I do have to go and fix all those up. We've got the Great Blue in through there, so we've got a couple more forests. That's working well. I like it. So that's working well. I like it. So yeah, so this is actually going to work out very, very nicely, I think. So that's actually working perfectly. I do want to still build an underground on this one as well. So it's not finished yet, but I don't want to do it all. I think I'm going to leave it here, guys, and then I've got something to read now. So I'll go and just go and change the face cam, just make sure that's going to then work. Click back in again. There we are. Yep. All right. So yeah. So actually, that's working actually. So at least I'm halfway through. Don't know whether I'll have a look and see if many people watch this, or whether it's worth coming back and basically doing this live. I don't like the swirls here. I think I'm going to ditch those. I'm going to have to fix up a few things anyway. So, but that's really, so this is random. Whenever we play the game, it's random. Now, it's showing the base map in here, because we don't know, it doesn't know what else is in through here. So we see the base map, which is fine. Yeah, no, I'll leave it like that. I'm just toying with the idea of changing the overall look of the base map, because I could actually make that also look a different. I might do that actually. I might make the base map look different, and so that it then overrides these. So these end up being very much an unknown type quantity. So Tenra is saying, nice, Des. You'll never again have problems falling asleep. Yes. But this is coming together, guys. This is coming together. I've still got to do all the winter maps. So I'll see when I get back to do it. I may do it to Savo, but I'll see how it goes. And again, I don't know if it's helpful, to do this, but I'm liking the look of this. This is actually working very, very nicely. So that's going to be extremely useful for players who want to test things, to be able to then go in and tweak this sort of stuff. So, and I'm glad Atlantis has come in with the cold. So it's already got cold 1. So it's coming in with the ice already there. So that's actually interesting to see that. And then we don't actually have. I don't have the winter maps for all this other stuff, so I'm going to have to sort of put them in there. But I have to get the gorges done, the kelp in these other areas if it does sort of go through, fix that one up. That doesn't look good. And yeah, I like it. And so I think I need to somehow just mute all of these areas. I'll keep it sort of the same. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one. So Tenor is saying I was behind in the stream. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll have some lunch, and then I'll read a bit of a certain book, and then I'll be back to. I think I'll be back to Savo to actually play with more. I'll just see if I've got any other things I've got to actually then go and do. But this is. I'm liking the look of this. This is actually coming together quite nicely, actually, for this little map. So yeah, it's actually coming together pretty well. So yeah, the arena map will live again for Dom 6, which is great. And I will actually probably do a tutorial on, like, now that I've got all the basics done, it's going to be easy once I sort of go through, what I've done. I've got the live stream, I guess, as reference as to how it was done. But yeah, it's looking good. I'm liking the look of it. What I don't like is this. Like, if this is unknown, I prefer it to look unknown. And I don't know how I do that. Maybe just darker. Maybe just darken it up. So I just have like a darker version for this section of the water and the other one. So anything I don't see just comes up with a more. It could even be more muted. The actual the detail on it. Anyway, I'll have a think about that one. All right, guys. Well, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later if I do get back. Otherwise, it'll be tomorrow. I'll be on Twitch again in the morning, I believe. So, like, in about maybe sort of like 13 to 14 hours. But I'll see if I can come back and now that I'm on this roll, I do want to actually now finish off and start experimenting with the actual Dominion color. It's too strong. You can't change all these things in the actual game itself. So I probably will have to do another session to finish it off. But I wouldn't mind actually. I'll probably do a recording once we've actually tested it properly, and then I can just sort of show like a final recording of everything. All right, and I think that what will happen is when you play as Ermor, I think that as the Death Dominion starts to creep around, then these will then change across as well. So ultimately, these will all become. I'm assuming they'll all become wasteland fairly early, I would imagine. I'm not sure what happens with heat. It may even be that heat does that. So yeah, it's actually, what have we got with the heat? If we go with yeah, no, it's okay. I'll just leave it the way it is. But this is good. I'm actually really happy with what's happened. We didn't actually have any big stuff ups.